Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. Today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week, as well as news, updates, comments, questions, answers, and anything else that would fall in between. So this is the second week of the month, and typically the second week of the month tends to be my favorite. Second or the third, there's always a lot of good comics in both those weeks. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna go to the gym after this. Actually, I'm gonna go to GameStop, then go to the gym. Then I have to go buy a new tie. It has a pink tie because every Friday is Pink Tie Friday. So just have to go and do all that shit. So just getting ready, but I forgot I have to do this video. I've been so caught up with work this week and just stuff in general that I haven't been able to focus on things. But I'll get into that in updates. And we might as well start where we always start with a little bit of Batman in our life. With Batman, issue number 19. Again, we're continuing the gatefold covers, or the covers that, fold out. And of course, I get all the variant covers. So you got the normal variant, and Bruce Wayne's greatest foe is Jim Gordon. Ooh. Um, yeah. And then we have the digital copy, which I actually have to send my friend the code for. And then finally the variant, which I try to always get the variant, which I didn't care for the variant this week. It's not bad, it's just not great. Anywho, basically with the gatefold cover, you're like, why A is Batman pointing a gun, and B, why is he pointing a gun at Jim Gordon? It pretty much gets explained here. There's a lot of unusual stuff going on in Gotham. People are acting differently. They're acting, well, not like themselves. And Bruce Wayne is among them. And we find out that a couple of old Batman villains come back from the past. One of which I will not reveal because it would kind of spoil the whole entire Gatefold cover and how it works. But one of them is the Reaper from year two, which I thought was interesting. If you don't know who the Reaper is, it was a story that was in continuity for some time called Batman Year Two. It was then removed from continuity in 1993 at Zero Hour, and the main villain in it was the Reaper. So the Reaper kind of comes back in this. But basically, Batman has to deal with a classic Batman villain screwing around with him. Will Bruce Wayne really become a killer? And will Jim Gordon get trampled over by a motorcycle? I can answer one of those. Yes, to one of them. Um, Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like that we're having a few issues of downtime, for lack of a better term. We've had basically two grand epic story arcs in a row, so it's nice with this. We're getting a little bit of downtime with the Batman telling, the Batman storytelling. I like the fact that they're using the villain that they're using here. I think it kind of makes sense for what the story is and how the story is being portrayed. Bad. The only bad I can really say is you kind of pick up on what's happening in the comic a couple issues in. And two is, yeah, Robin shows up in this in like a grieving moment. I know Bruce Wayne is supposed to be grieving throughout the comics, but I'd rather keep that just to Batman and Robin and Batman Inc. I would like the other Batman titles to just go upon their merry way and do what they're doing, which a lot of them are. But throwing Robin here and there to show that he's grieving, we get it. Batman's grieving. I don't need to see it every issue. And that's the one thing I just didn't want to deal with the death of Robin is him just grieving. Um, it's cool, but I just don't want it with every Batman comic. Whether or not you should get it, this was a fun issue. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Enjoyable, and it's a nice downtime issue, which is something that you could use every once in a while. Moving on to Batman and Robin issue number 19, or Batman and Red Robin issue 19. And is a Dark Knight new partner, Carrie Kelly. Now, if you don't know who Carrie Kelly is, then obviously you didn't read Batman Dark Knight Returns. Carrie Kelly was the Robin in Batman Dark Knight Returns, a futuristic, grim kind of story that deals with Batman getting older and all that kind of shit. And basically, in this issue, Carrie Kelly doesn't play a huge role. She's kind of just there. But the main part of this issue, and it looks like, and I could be wrong, but it looks like the Batman and Robin stories are going to be about grieving, the 5 stages of grieving, or is this 5 or 6? I forget. but it's going to be all the stages of grieving for Batman. And this is, I guess, denial, because in this, Batman does some really questionable stuff because he believes his son can be saved no matter what. And I guess I won't spoil too much here, but I will. No, no, I won't spoil exactly how he tries to bring his son back to life. But he's so desperate to bring his son back to life that he does questionable things. And Red Robin shows up to kind of stop him from doing this. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like how they're kind of touching on Batman grieving in this story rather than the other stories because it's actually him grieving. And I like how Batman's kind of reacting because it's Batman reacting in a super logical way. When Batman doesn't know how to deal with things, he usually becomes incredibly logical to the point that he almost shuts off all reasons. It's kind of weird to explain. He becomes so logical that he doesn't think things through. That makes sense. He disattaches himself from everything. Uh, and it's kind of cool to see Batman grieve in that way. Uh, so I did like that. I thought Carrie Kelly in this was enjoyable. I actually liked her in this more than I liked her in Dark Knight Returns, despite how little of a kind of how little she was used in this. I liked it and I enjoyed it, so that's cool. I wouldn't mind seeing more of her in the future. The only thing is if they do that, the Robin costume, the classic one, don't do it. Oh god, and get rid of the glasses. Just get rid of the glasses. Um, but yeah, those were the good points. Bad, the Carrie Kelly stuff, while fun, really didn't serve a purpose in the comic at all. At least to the main story. And Red Robin doesn't really show up till the end. Whether or not you should get it, I will also give this a 4 out of 5. It was enjoyable. Oh, there's one other thing I want to point out. Bruce Wayne is going through all this stuff to bring his son back to life. You're telling me there's not a Lazarus pit around? That's how Jason Todd came back to life. That's how Ra's al Ghul comes back to life. And I know, oh, possibly all the Lazarus pits might be used up and destroyed because Bruce Wayne did that. Please, there's always a Lazarus pit. They're everywhere. I have one in my backyard. So that's one problem. See, going all this way to bring back Damien using this means rather than trying a Lazarus pit. And that's why I don't believe Damien's going to be dead too long, because anyone who has a grandfather who has a Lazarus pit definitely has like one way ticket back to life. But yeah, 4 out of 5. I did enjoy this. I'm interested to see what happens in the next issue, which would be Red Hood. So anger, I guess, or denial, anger. I forget the 5 stages of grief. Please, someone, write it down for me. I wonder who's going to get acceptance. That would be cool if it was Dick Grayson. But anyways, moving on. Batgirl issue number 19. To stop her brother, must she commit the ultimate crime? This gatefold cover was kind of meh, but anyways. In this, we get to see a bit of more of Jim Gordon's motive on why he's doing what he's doing. And it's kind of a big climactic family come together because Barbara's mother invites Jim and her to kind of meet at a place where they used to always go, kind of a circus, a merry-go-round. And James invites his father, Jim Gordon, and they all come together and shit goes down. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, the art was good in this. Um, I enjoyed the family coming together and kind of having that big, huge climactic moment, and how each of them react to each other was really good. We find out that Barbara's roommate is transgender in here, and what I particularly like about that is Barbara doesn't care. She's still friends with her, and she still loves her or him or however she wants to be addressed. I think she wants to be addressed as a her, but Barbara doesn't care. Barbara loves her no matter what, which is how things should be. It shouldn't matter how someone is physically on the outside, as long as you love them or as long as they're good people. That's all that matters. So I like how Barbara acted very natural in that sense. Um, and I thought the ending was so good, so good. Bad. The only bad I could say is I thought James Gordon Jr.'s motives, well, kind of were okay. At the same time, they seemed a little cliche. But besides that, this issue was actually really good this week. 5 out of 5. I'm really liking what they're doing with Batgirl. It's very subtle here and there, but I like how they're doing it. And Gal Simona's back. Moving on to Batman in Little Gotham. I believe this started off as a digital first comic, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I love his art. Dustin Gu- Guin. It's I think the N is silent. Someone, please help me out here. Um, Basically, this is just Batman having fun. It's kind of like Tiny Titans or Superman Family or stuff along that lines. And basically, it is just dealing with Damian's first Halloween and his first Thanksgiving, and Batman kind of teaching him about it. Plain, flat, and simple. I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. All I'm going to say is if you enjoy Batman and you want something a little different, a little chuckle in your life, get this. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It was enjoyable. The only thing I didn't like is how it was separated into two stories. It would have been nice if it was nice long story or three smaller stories. Although there's one section in this where Batman asks Damian if he ever celebrated Halloween, and the only time Damian can think of anything close is when his mother and grandfather would throw dead bodies in the Lazarus pit so he could train and fight zombies. That's hilarious. But this is fun. This is charming. Pick it up if you want a good chuckle. Moving on to a little Marvel with Marvel's Now Wolverine issue number 2. So know that gun that's possessing the kid? Yeah, it's still shooting people. Wolverine is still going around trying to stop this gun possessing. I'm going to just say the gun's the perpetrator. This gun that's possessing people and, save this kid. And the gun has an incredible interest in what you probably never. You don't read this comic, you're like, wait, what? The gun? The gun? Yeah, apparently the gun possesses its user, and that's why it has a little kid. So the gun is the main villain. So, anyways, this gun is incredibly interested in Wolverine. It really is. And the fact that Wolverine heals and has this healing factor, so on and so forth. Uh, so yeah, it basically it's Wolverine trying to stop this gun from possessing people and ruin their lives. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I thought this Wolverine characterization wise felt okay. Felt good. I like how he's kind of a bit of a more superhero-y Wolverine. I thought there was some funny moments in this. I like the chasing. I know a lot of people don't like chase stories, but I felt as though it was good in this. In addition to that, at the very end was very sad, but it worked out. When Wolverine finally dresses the kid because eventually the gun does get off the kid. It goes on to someone else, and when the kid looks at Wolverine, it's a heartbreaking moment. Bad. The very ending, the twist at the end, I really didn't care for, and Nick Fury. I think it's Nick Fury Jr. I don't care. Uh, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury shows up, and yeah, what random cameo. Uh, I do like how Wolverine's going around and telling everyone, I'm an Avenger, I'm an Avenger, and the cop's like, I don't give a shit. What are you doing? On the whole, I actually really did enjoy this issue. It was fun. And I think that's what makes. I, um, I like Wolverine. I just don't like how he's been portrayed throughout the years sometimes, or overused sometimes, where he's on like every single team. But I kind of enjoy this comic because it's just him being him. What I found interesting is Claws never came out during this issue, which was even more fun. Uh, 4 out of 5. Yeah, nice issue. Green Lantern Corps, issue number 19, gatefold cover. The Green Lantern Corps must fall, and it is the rise of Mogo. This is a Wrath of the First Lantern tie-in, and my god, this is actually a tie-in. It's not people sitting there going, oh, my life sucks, I'm seeing alternate realities of myself. No, it's actually a pretty decent tie-in. And Mogo tries to save the Green Lantern Corps from the First Lantern. That's the basic gist of it. While this goes on, the Green Lantern Corps needs to fight different evil copies of themselves that the First Lantern makes. But there's a twist. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Mogo's back. I like that. I like Mogo. Uh, I like the fact that it's actually the core here. And I like the fact that there's a huge fight scene in the middle that takes, I want to see how many pages it is. Because it's a couple pages long. Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages long. A 7-page fight scene with no dialogue and just people fighting. It was actually nice eye candy. Bad, I felt as though the first lantern was again underutilized in this. Um, and I felt as though, although it tied into the story, it really didn't do anything for the story. Because in the end, the Green Lanterns, I mean, I'm sure they'll show up in issue 20 of Green Lantern and something will happen and yada yada yada. But I don't think they'll be the pivotal turning point. I think in the end of the story, the pivotal players are going to be Kyle, Sinestro, Simon Baz, and Hal. On a whole, 3.5 out of 5 was enjoyable. It was fun, and it was I think a better Green Lantern core issue than last week's or last month, if you remember that. Moving on to Threshold, issue number 4. Trapped inside the bottle city of Brainiac. Let me just say this. At the end of the comic, I guess I can show the art. Although, can I? Yeah. Um, the Brainiac we get is the classic Brainiac, uh, which is great because I did not like Brainiac's redesign in the New 52. So it looks like that was just robot of Brainiac, and we're getting a redesign of Brainiac. Basically, shit's hitting the fan. Everyone is trying to get something. Everyone, whether it's a Green Lantern battery, whether it's to escape the place before it gets bottle cityed up, whether it's just to find a place to hide. Everyone is trying to hustle together. And you know what's interesting? I thought Blue Beetle was supposed to be in this issue, but he wasn't. And while this is all going down, of course, Brainiac is on the outside looking in, trapping everyone in. LaFreeze's backup continues, and basically it's LaFreeze being a dick. Plain, flat, simple. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like Keith Giffen's dialogue in this. I found out with this kind of comic, I need to read it when I'm a little bit more awake, when I'm not tired, and when I have time, so I don't rush it, because the dialogue is fun. There's a lot of it, but it's fun to read. The characters are charming and enjoying. I like how it's kind of set off in its own place, doing its own thing. I like Brainiac tying into it, which was fun, too. Um, yeah, and I thought it was incredibly well-paced. LaFreeze's backup was enjoyable, as it always is, particularly when his butler convinces him that his constructs are out to take his stuff, and LaFreeze even accuses himself of stealing LaFreeze's stuff. You have to read it. Bad? None really. You know what? Threshold this week, I thoroughly enjoyed. I will give it a 5 out of 5. Threshold. Yeah. Guys, you know something happened when Threshold beat Batman. Moving on to Superboy, issue 19. The Secret Origins of Superboy, which ties into Lois Lane and Superman. So basically, this issue is kind of a secret origins for not only Superboy, but also for Harvest. And it starts off kind of slow, giving us a bit just on who Harvest is and where he come from and what he did as long as he loves us. Tell me what song that is. And basically how it ties into the creation of Superboy. And it's not your traditional creation of Superboy. And basically we find out who is Superboy's genetic donors. One is Superman, the other one you could probably figure out. Hint, it's not Lex Luthor in this continuity. And yeah, that's the basic gist of the issue. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like the fact that they actually flesh out Harvest as a character and give him kind of a backstory. That's the one thing that I just didn't care about Harvest is, like, what's the point of him? But in this, we get a point of him. And it's a good backstory. It's a really nice one. It's a tragic one, too. But it's good backstory. 2 is I felt as though the Superboy backstory was also really good, too. It's still very traditionally Superboy, but it does things a little different. And I like how it does things a little different. I like how it mixes things up. The story was well paced, the art was good, and the emotions felt real. Bad, zilch. Superboy this week was fun. I enjoy the new origin for Superboy, and it feels natural in the new 52. And it also ties him into the Superman family a little bit more. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 also. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, issue number, God, what number are we on? 20? Season 9, issue number 20. If I spoil anything in this issue, you guys are going to be pissed. But basically, Xander is dealing with the fact that Dawn is dying and fading away. An old Buffy ally returns in a surprise return that I didn't see coming. I need to get my shit together with this character because, yeah, again, don't want to spoil anything. And Xander makes a decision that could alter the Buffy universe forever. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I liked the emotion in this. I liked the surprise reveal, the return of the character. And I like the fact that now we have a kind of reset button that we can use. Maybe we could reset the whole Twilight story arc and go back to when Buffy was good. Although that would reset all the comics. But you know what? I wouldn't mind. Bad. I think the ending I could have seen coming. And we all know how it's going to play out in the end. But on a whole, this was a decent issue. I enjoyed it. I felt as though this was a better issue than most Buffy comics have been recently. 4 out of 5. Demon Knights issue number 19. A prophecy fulfilled by a life being snuffed out. So basically, it is the big war between Cain, the Amazons, and the Demon Knights. And they need Etrica and they need it bad. And all this ties into Shining Knight doing something, which you saw on the cover, that will ultimately alter the Demon Knights forever. Will Cain succeed, or does he have bigger plans? And who will become the most unlikeliest of supporters of the Demon Knights in this comic? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. These characters are so fun. Vandal Savage included. But everyone, from Jason Blood to Vandal Savage to Shining Knight to Exodus to Madame Xandu to Lucifer to even the Amazon that show up. Such great characters. Plot was great. The pacing was, for the most part, good. I felt as though there was a lot of tension, a lot was on the line here, and it came together so well. Bad, I felt as though we could have got one more issue of the fighting. I thought as though the war got tied up in a neat bow a little too quickly with this. But besides that, 4.5 out of 5. Demon Knights has been a great comic since the get-go, and it continues to be a great comic. And Vandal Savage is just fucking great. I love Vandal Savage, if you haven't noticed. Constantine, issue number 2. Dead in the Streets. Oh, sorry, I almost screwed that. And at the hands of the Spectre. So Constantine basically is still on the run because remember he needs that magical compass, and he has the needle, but now he needs to get the dial and everything else. The 3 pieces of the compass. However, he basically has to deal with the Spectre. The Spectre is pissed because Constantine, well, technically considered a good guy, is as chaotic good as it gets, and he does very questionable things. The Spectre comes for his soul. How will Constantine get out of this one? Or does he even get out of it at all? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Just with as with the first issue, I enjoy the art. I enjoy the fact that we're changing up locations all the time. I like the fact that the Spectre was brought in. I felt as though it was natural with the comic. And I also like the fact on how Constantine deals with the Spectre. Even to the internal dialogue on how Constantine deals with the Spectre afterwards. It kind of makes the Spectre even more of a grandiose character just by the fact that Constantine, who is a magic badass in and of himself, is reacting this way to the Spectre. I enjoy the villains that are growing. They're unique, they're fun, and they stand out. And you remember their names, which is important. And it was paced well. Bad, zilch. Constantine has been a good comic thus far. 5 out of 5. Pick her up. Fantastic Four issue number... Is it 4? No, 6. This is a regular 6. Wasn't the last one 6 AU? I don't know. I don't care. Um, Basically, the Fantastic Four finds they go to the Big Bang and they find someone strapped to a rock at the beginning of the Big Bang, and they pick up this person. And is Reed Richards like the only person I'm thinking? Because in this, Sue Storm is like, "Hey, let's pick that thing up," and Reed is like, "Well, listen, that something strapped to a rock at the beginning of time. There's gotta be a pretty good reason why that's the case." And even the little kids say, "Yeah, listen, if he's strapped to the rock and he's a good guy, maybe he wants to be there, or there's a reason why he's there. And if he's a bad guy, there's definitely a reason why he's there. Let's not pick him up." But no, Sue Storm's like, "Nah, everyone's gotta be huggy in case he lets pick him up." Sue Storm, you're an idiot. And she's my favorite Fantastic Four member. You're an idiot. Of course, they pick him up and things don't go exactly the way it should. So yes, good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Um, I liked how most of the characters acted. Um, I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed how everyone was kind of scrambling around. Bad, I felt as though the story on a whole could have just. I felt as though Sue was just an idiot, and it made it for being an okay story. That, and who does get picked up, I'm sure it's a Marvel villain that's brought up all the time, but I don't know who they are. I am interested though. What's happening to the Thing? Something's happening to the Thing. On a whole, whether or not you should get it, 3 out of 5. It was enjoyable, but it had its flaws. And with Fantastic Four being my favorite team in Marvel, it still has that fun, campy, sci-fi kind of feel, but not falling in love with it. Moving on to Suicide Squad, issue number 19. The Suicide Squad falls or defeated by. I didn't see this one coming, but it's pretty interesting. The Unknown Soldier. Suicide Squad, this is basically an escape issue, and the Suicide Squad talking with each other and kind of bonding in a weird way. Although it comes to a complete stop and head when the Unknown Soldier shows up. We find out that Harley Quinn is hearing more voices in her head. We find out some interesting information about one of the members of the Suicide Squad who might not actually be alive. And a big twist at the end when one of the members pops off, and you'll be surprised on who it is. And Amanda Waller being nice to the squad. Whatever. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like the characters all interacting with each other. I feel as though. What the hell is that? I feel as though this is almost kind of like a family, which is great to have that feeling in the comic. A dysfunctional family that belongs on Jerry Springer, but a family nonetheless. And I like how all the characters are portrayed. I even like the new Harley Quinn. I like how she's independent and doing her own thing, and she doesn't have to be with the Joker. The art was good, and I like the twist at the end with the Unknown Soldier. Bad is that I felt as though not much happened in this issue in the way of pushing the plot, but it didn't really need to be. This issue was fun, and Suicide Squad has been an enjoyable comic thus far. 4.5 out of 5. Team 7, issue number 7, which is, I believe, the final issue. And interestingly enough, the artist did Deathstroke in his pre-New 52 costume. Or for the most part, his pre-New 52 costume. Maybe a few tweaks here and there, but you can see the underwear on the outside, the mask being a mask and not a helmet. The only thing New 52-ish on there is the straps going around the arms, but even the hands, he doesn't have the Batman fin blades on there. It's really interesting that they went with the old 52 kind of style. Basically, in this, it's Pandora versus Majestic. And what's going to be important is the reason why I'm showing you this issue first is if you read in the last 3 comics, which is Ravagers, Deathstroke, and Team 7, you should read them in this order. Because we find out Majestic shows up, big, powerful, badass superhero. He was the reason why the Team 7 was brought along the whole time. And Team 7, obviously, this has been, I believe, the last issue, starts falling apart. Which then leads into Ravagers and Deathstroke. Team 7 this week was okay. but it wasn't as good as the other comics. I'm not even going to bother with good, bad, or whether or not you should get it. All I'm going to say is the issue is a 3 out of 5. Which then it jumps into Ravagers, which we have Deathstroke hunting down the Ravagers, and they are brought. They are attacked by the Animal Vegetation Mineral Man, which is an um, old comic book character, which I believe showed up on Brave and the Bold, Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon. But basically, the Ravagers have to deal with Deathstroke in this, while also dealing with all the crazy shenanigans that are happening in their fortress. This comic is fantastic. Why is this getting canceled? Um, it's so enjoyable. The interactions between all the characters are fun. Even like Rose Wilson just coming in here and the revelation with Caitlin Fairchild and everything. It was a great issue, 5 out of 5. Why is this comic getting canceled? And then from Ravagers, we lead into Deathstroke, which Deathstroke is tormented by none other than his own family. And basically, we find out that Jericho is the big bad in this issue, and he is possessing everyone. His powers work a little differently in the New 52. Instead of jumping into people's bodies, he's just mind controlling them. And again, just like Ravagers, this issue is great. It has drama, conflict, characters are portrayed greatly, and it's just so epic and climactic. And why is this comic getting canceled? 5 out of 5, and like, what is happening here, people? What is happening? Yeah, so Ravagers and Deathstroke both get a 5 out of 5. They're great comics. Pick them up this week. You really, really should. As for my Andrewcutter picks of the week, we will go about them in this way. Coming in at number 3 would be the Ravagers. As I just said, fantastic issue. All the characters are fun to play with. I don't know why this comic's getting canceled. I really don't. Which leads into number 2 would be Deathstroke. Epic climax, his family showing up, just really the badassness of everyone posing in kind of cool ways, and Jericho really having the upper hand in all the situations. And I really do like Jericho as a bad guy more than I ever liked him as a good guy. A lot of people will be like, "Oh no, Jericho, he's not like he was beforehand." That's fine, because Jericho was boring as all hell beforehand, and he was only interesting when he was bad. Moving on, and my pick of the week is Batgirl, issue number 19. Shit just gets real in this issue, people. Shit just gets real. I really did enjoy it. It was really, really fun. And that is the comics for this week. So, news updates. I am going to have a lot of reviews for you guys for trades. A lot of Batman reviews, from Batman Robin White Knight Dark Knight to Batman Dark Knight Golden Dawn to Batman, what was it? Batman Dark Knight Volume 1 for the New 52 to Batman Core of the Owls Volume 2 to Batman Gotham Shall Be Judged to Wonder Woman Odyssey to... I have a bunch of trades that I am going to review and put up. It's just I've been busy with work. But I'm probably going to put one up tomorrow after this video, because I have it all set. It's there. It's ready. It's going to go up. It's just a matter of I wanted to get this video out first. I've been buying a lot of video games lately, stocking up. GameStop's having their buy 2 get 1 free sale on Wii games. So I got Lego Batman 1, which I beat, Lego Batman 2, Castlevania Judgment, Red Steel 2, Mad World, and what was the last one? I should know this because it was the one that I wanted to get over the rest of them. Oh, House of the Dead 1 and 2, or 2 or 3, the combination pack. I also got Super Mario Power Tennis and Super Mario Toadstool Tour for the GameCube, as well as Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube, playing that right now. And lastly, I got Batman Dark Tomorrow, which was in my comic store at the 50% off sale. And I got that mostly just because it's a Batman game. I heard it's not great, but we'll see. So stocking up on GameCube games too. Um, my buddies and I just finished our campaign world in D&D, and we're going to try something different. We're going to stay in the same campaign world, set at a different period. But we're going to start playing a little bit of Pathfinder. If you don't know what Pathfinder it is, basically D&D 3.5, 3.75. Um, it is what 4.0 should have been. Cleaner, more streamlined rules. It's backwards compatible with D&D. I'm interested in it, and I'm looking forward to playing around with it and seeing what happens. So, gonna get into that. Uh, Nothing else really happening. Going to gym a lot lately, 4 times a week, and I'm loving it. Gyms are addictive as all hell. They really are, and I think the biggest problem was just me getting off my ass and going there. But since then, I've been love it, and I've been noticing a bit of a change in my body, a little bit more muscle mass. You can't really notice it, but you know, it just feels my chest looks better, my shoulders look better, my arms look better. I look bigger. Um, I still got to work on my stomach. I used to have a six pack when I was a kid. College kind of changed that. I didn't drink. It's just I was always busy in college. But don't worry, that's next on my list to take care of. So I'm enjoying the gym and I'm getting back into shape, people. Back into shape. And just as Gods Among Us showed us a little the opening clip. It was on IGN.com. It kind of mirrored that from Injustice Gods Among Us, the comic, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and I cannot be more pumped for this game. I cannot be more pumped for this game. And who else has been watching the battle arenas? I mean, it's pretty obvious that it was going to come down to Batman and Superman, but I found as though they're fun and it really gives us a good look into the characters themselves. I think that's ultimately what they were, just a chance for us to look and get into the characters themselves. So I do enjoy that. And I'm looking forward to that game so much. And it's coming out soon, close to my birthday. My birthday is this coming week. So we'll see what I'm going to do for my birthday. I know the missus is doing something for me. She already yelled at me, not yelled at me, but she gave me a stern talk. Because every other Friday, my birthday is on the 19th. It's Friday. And I trust you guys. Who cares? Uh, every other Friday I play D&D with my friends, and I'm still gonna call it D&D even though we're gonna play Pathfinder. We get together and we play. Yesterday it was D&D night. So she kind of looked at me and she just said, "Listen, no D&D on your birthday." I'm like, "Well, is it a D&D day? If it's a D&D day, I'm gonna play D&D. If it's not D&D, then I'm not gonna play D&D. It's that simple, honey." And she just said, "I don't care. You're not playing D&D." Like, what? But it worked out for the best. I didn't even know my birthday was coming up either. I'm not even trying to make a big deal of it. Like it just came out of nowhere. I've been working so much lately. I'm like, oh shit, it's already April like 11th. I didn't realize that it was a month of my birthday until that. So it should be good. What I really want to do is I want to get a bunch of friends together and just sit down and play some of the Mario sports games because I have a big nostalgia for that and I just want to get into those games and enjoy them. So yeah, um, that's kind of what's been going on in my neck of the woods. I crashed yesterday. I felt bad for my boss. She had to deal with me. Just I fell apart yesterday. I was a complete mess. But other than that, and I don't know if I told you this, guys, because I got into Lego Batman, and I think I did tell you this. I bought some of the Lego Batman. So I got the Lego Batman Batwing, which is pretty badass. I got the Lex Luthor versus Superman and Wonder Woman. I remember telling you this, but I love Legos, and I might get some more. But this is a really cool thing. Give me a sec. I'm gonna just put it back. Alley. And in video game news, who else has noticed that the new Mewtwo form has showed up? A lot of people are calling it Mew 3. What's your opinions on it? I don't think it looks aesthetically bad, but I feel as though we're running out of ideas. If we're going to Mew 3, if we're going to that well of water, aren't we running out of some ideas? I don't know, just something to think of. Might as well get into some comments, questions, and answers. For those of you that are new to my videos, every week I take the comments from the previous Comic Load video, whether it's a comment or a question, no matter what it is, and I talk about it. I respond to it or I answer it. So, might as well get things going. Oscar Otunga. Andrewcutter 2. The Injustice Gods Among Us game will launch DLC. The game, which characters would you like to see in the DLC? And if Young Justice wasn't canceled, how many seasons do you think this TV show was going to have? And did you know Donna Troy was a team member of Young Justice? If you read this, if you read your, okay, if you read this, your reviews are great. I review I read everything. As for Injustice: Gods Among Us, uh, are you asking which characters would I like to see as DLC? They said that they're going to announce what the first DLC character is going to be too. Uh, for me, there's two characters I would like to see as DLC. Donna Troy, because I love her, and everyone knows I love Donna Troy. Everyone knows I have a little affair with her, um, kind of. Um, and number two, the man himself, Doctor Booster, motherfucking Gold. Booster Gold in Injustice: Gods Among Us would be like Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. It'd just be great. Like he would even have the same like endings, like, damn, I'm good. I'm boosterific. And like his fatality could be like Skeets just showing up and shooting people. Oh, be so great. So that's what I would like as DLC. How long do I think Young Justice would have survived? I think if the merchandise sold and they wanted to tell the stories they could have told, a good solid 4 or 5 seasons. Um, and did I know Donna Troy was a team member of Young Justice? No, I didn't. I don't remember seeing her on there. I know Cassandra Sandmark was. Pardon me if I mispronounce your name. Akuna Makota Z. What do you think of the new creative teams on Green Lantern related titles? Red Lanterns and LaFreeze. I have not grown attached to them at all because I know the gentleman who did I Vampire was going to be on Red Lantern and Green Lantern Corps, but he's no longer on it. LaFreeze, I think it should be Keith Giffens. I think he has fun with the character, and I have fun with him having fun with the character. Um, that sounds almost like porn, like Keith Giffens and LaFreeze are having fun with each other, and I'm the spectator. But no, I really, I'm fine with that. Other than that, I don't really have an opinion on the Green Lantern titles because I don't know. I guess I'm just happy Hal is back as the main character of the comic, but I don't really know how to feel. I'm indifferent right now. Nick Lenz, hey Andrew, me again. Oh, you again. Just kidding. What's up, Nick? I got 3 questions for you. First, are you looking forward to Superman, Man of Steel movie? Second, do you think the whole White Rabbit storyline will conclude in Batman Dark Knight? And third, why is the question in Jack Ryder the Creeper in Phantom Strange's title? One, yes, I am absolutely looking forward to Man of Steel, probably more than I was looking forward to Dark Knight Rises, which is saying a lot because I was looking forward to Dark Knight Rises. No, I do not think the White Rabbit storyline was going to conclude because I think that was a David Finch only thing that he was doing, which is sad because for some weird reason I was interested in that storyline, or at least where the White Rabbit was going. And as for Jack Ryder and the Creeper and the question, why are they showing up in Phantom Stranger's title? Uh, if I'm going to be blunt and honest, and this is nothing against Question fans or Creepers fans, but because they are not strong enough to hold their own titles, might as well go in Phantom Stranger's title, which is doing relatively well and which is a good comic. And why not introduce more and more characters in the New 52 without having to actually go out and do a new title and then worry about that title getting canceled? So yeah, there you go. I think the Creep is going to be in Katana, issue number 3. So you watch that. Adam Hollander, do you think Walking Dead? Do you read Walking Dead or American Vampire? No, I don't. I should, but I don't. You definitely should start reading one of them. Yes, I should, but time and money, my friend, time and money. Sure, The Walking Dead is 100 issues in, but you can catch up slowly in the volumes. I could send you the first volume if you'd like. Um, Also, it's a good time catching up on American Vampire because it's on hiatus, and while all you need is to pick up the 5 volumes. If you want to send me the volume, it's purely up to you. I told the same gentleman that I picked up the Witchblade from, and I'm still chipping slowly away at Witchblade. I'm taking my time. That's an interesting cover. I'm taking my time. When I'm done with it, I'm going to review it. So if The Walking Dead was ever sent to me, which would be generous, it's really up to you guys. I would read it and review it. It would just be a while because with stuff like that, compendiums, I take my time with them. I do that with trades, and I'm kind of on a Showcase Presents Batman fix right now. I'm reading Volume 5, so I do that on my breaks. As with not I Vampire, American Vampire, I kind of want to jump into it, especially seeing it's Scott Snyder, and everyone talks so greatly about it. But I've just been reading a lot of vampire stuff lately, so I'm kind of burnt out. Uh, a one shot comes out in July, and they pick up where they resume in January. It's one of the best series that you won't regret if you do. I mean, maybe sometime in the future, I might. We'll see. I'm probably more interested in American Vampire than Walking Dead. We'll see. Pro Deed Z. How long do you think you can last in a fight against Batman? The same amount of time anyone can. About a second. I am a fourth degree black belt that has been taking karate since I was 9. So 17 years now, almost. I've trained with various different fantastic, well-known martial artists. I've cross-trained with a bunch of people. I've got to learn different styles along the way. And I would be no different than another person who has no training because it is the Batman. He has training in all forms of martial arts. I would be just as screwed as everyone else, my friend. Son Wukong 666. I don't know. I think World's Fight is getting the direction with threats like Darkseid coming to Earth in forms of Desaad and Fury, who I would love to see as a arch enemy for Kara. I like to see how that goes through. I do want them to return and kind of be the Superman Batman of their world. Sa Wukong 666. I agree. I think they should be the Batman and Superman of their respective worlds. Unfortunately, there's going to be a new Not unfortunate for that idea, but not unfortunate as there will be another Batman of Earth 2, which I am looking forward to. It's just it kind of disputes that theory. But yeah, it would be cool if they came back and like their Justice League or their Justice Society kind of parallels the regular Justice League. So you have Superman to Power Girl, Huntress to Batman, Wonder Woman to Fury, Alan Scott to Hal Jordan, Jay Garrick to um, Barry Allen, and then who could be Cyborg's Doctor Fate to Cyborg, something along that lines, or Doctor Fate to Aquaman, and then who else is was it Mr. Terrific could join? Well, Mr. Terrific is very tech savvy too, so him to Cyborg. That would be an interesting kind of mashup, but yeah. Blue Lantern of 2814. Yeah, I heard the writer of Green Lantern Corps left because they wanted him to kill off John Stewart and he refused. Props to him. If that's the case, props to him. Yes, that is true. If that's the case, I would not want them to kill off John Stewart. He may not be the most terribly interesting character recently, but he's always been a fun character. Jelly Bros Assemble. Interesting name. Do you think I should pick up Phantom Stranger's issue because the Question is my favorite character? The Question has been in Phantom Stranger for quite a few issues lately. I think you should pick up Phantom Stranger for the fact that it's a good comic alone. But yeah, I think Question showed up in issue number 3 and has been in it since. Just note that this Question is very questionable. Mr. Dan5493. I just butchered that review. LOL. Best line of the video. Yeah, I was out of it last video. Mr. Dan 5493. Are you still picking up any Marvel comics at the moment? I know you got some now, but I just was interested in which ones you get. Right now, I am committed to Captain America, Fantastic Four, and Wolverine. I'm tentative on Savage Wolverine and FF. I still haven't picked up the most recent FF issue. I'm lazy. Adam Page, thanks for recommending the IDW G.I. Joe classics. I will try picking up Volume 1 soon. Do you read any of the new IDW G.I. Joe series? And if you do, would you recommend them as well? there's two IDW main G.I. Joe series. There's G.I. Joe and then G.I. Joe Real American Hero. G.I. Joe Real American Hero is a continuation of the Marvel series. They even do the numbering the same. It starts off really good. It's kind of wind down recently, but it is a good comic. I can't comment on the other G.I. Joe comic because it's in a separate continuity and it does its own thing. I can assume it's okay because Chuck Dixon writes it, but I can't comment on it. So if you do want to, if you start reading the volumes of the Marvel comics, start picking up the IDW's Real American Hero series because that is a continuation of the Marvel series. Adam Page also comments, not just a continuation of the comics, but a completely new stuff by Chuck Dixon. Okay, if Chuck Dixon's writing it, it usually is good. Chuck Dixon is a fantastic writer, with his only flaw being that he's a little bit behind on how the times in a way. But besides that, he dominated the '90s. He's a great writer. Mr. Caballero 043, what do you think about? I can't pronounce his name. Guillermo del Toro. I never pronounce his name right. Um, Making Justice League Dark movie, and what would you like to see from it? I'm not sure how I feel about that. Um, yeah, I would be okay with that. What would I like to see about it? I would like to see crazy, screwed up, amazing stuff, but it still feel kind of like a superhero comic in a way too. Constantine needs to be on it. Zatanna should be on it. Frankenstein should be on it. Black Orchid should be on it, and Deadman should be on it. I think it would be a fun movie. Jake Biggs. Hey, Andrew. I was just curious on what your latest thoughts are on the previous Robin's After Death in the Family story arc and the death of Damien. Do you like the direction it's taking with Jason specifically? Do you think Damien is truly dead? Thank you for answering. Um, I'm indifferent when it comes down to the Damien dying stuff. I don't think Damien should have ever been in the New 52 to begin with. I did what I am thinking about that. As for is he truly dead? Grant Morrison said that he is not bringing Damien back to life in his story, but he said he would not be opposed if someone else did bring him back to life. So no, I don't think that. Do I think he's dead now? Yes, I think he's dead. Do I think he can come back to life? Yes, I think he can. Do I think that will happen? Not now, but possibly in the future, because no one ever stays dead. Unless you're Martha and Thomas Wayne in the planet Krypton, you don't stay dead. Except for the planet Krypton did come back. Well, not the planet Krypton, but a second. Anyways, Fallout 3 Freak number 1. Hey, Andrew. What expectations do you have for the new Green Lantern story by Robin Venditti and the art of it? Thanks for answering my question. As I said beforehand, my expectations is this: Hal Jordan's back, and I'm happy, because I love Hal. He's my favorite Green Lantern, and I feel as though we don't get to see enough of him. It's like, why isn't he on the Justice League? He should be on the Justice League sometime soon. But I'm excited, but I'm also indifferent because I don't know really what to expect. Vash Clone, and just so that you know, Booster Gold will guest star in All Star Westerns 19 and through 21. Woo. Yeah, I heard that, but I haven't seen any promotional art or anything to confirm that. But if that's the case, woo. Michael McGregor, how do you store your comics? Do you only shelf trades? Do you shelve both? Are they in alphabetical? Do you separate them by story arc? I'm trying to organize. Any suggestions? P.S. I should box single issues, or is it safer to shelve them? Box your issues. Make sure your issues are bagged. I board mine also. You don't need to, but make sure they're bagged and sealed up well so that water damage or humidity doesn't get to them. Whatever you do, do not put your comics down in a basement because humidity will kick the shit out of them. Let me just put that up. You guys may or may not see it, but I have some boxes over there. I keep my boxes up where, shit won't get to them. I try to keep my comics safe. So individual issues, box them, and then again bag. And if you want to board, I think boarding's a little bit more neater and cleaner. As for my trades themselves, I right now only shelve my Batman, Wonder Woman, and Justice League trades and my G.I. Joe trades. I think also TMNT, but I do them in chronological order, kind of. The way I do it is all pre-New 52 stuff I keep in the chronological order I originally had them in, and then all New 52 stuff I put after, and I put them in order to their respective titles. So all the Batman stuff stayed together, all the Detective Comics stuff stayed together, all the Batman and Robin's volumes stayed together, and they all separated. Um, so that's how I do it, but I'm a weirdo, if you haven't noticed already. Uh, Omar Z, hey Andrew, I want to ask you that out of all the Lantern cores, who's your favorite Lantern? What is your favorite construct that you've seen? And if you had a power ring, what would be your first construct you attempt? And what color would you choose? In emotion, didn't play part of the ring's capabilities. In emotion, didn't. Okay. So my favorite Lantern, I think I have answers. Or uh, my favorite Lantern core, I think it's still Green Lantern. I like red because red's my favorite color. But I think I like the Green Lantern core because it's all about will and everything, and I like will. Even though that's not an emotion. Who's your favorite Lantern? I said that already. Hal Jordan. I love Hal. I think he's great. Um, what's your favorite construct that you've seen? Jets are pretty fun. I like it when Kyle made power armors. I thought those were always kind of cool. Um, if you had a power ring, what would be your first construct you would attempt? Um, good one. My first one, the Master Sword. Uh, but if I was being a dick, a penis to slap in people's faces. What I think it would be hilarious if you just had a Green Lantern that would like send hordes of naked people on people and just beat the shit out of them. Or like the most obscene, like offensive stuff ever. Like if Cartman from South Park got a Green Lantern ring. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. What color would you choose? Probably green because all the other ones have downsides to them. If I chose red, my innards would be turned into napalm. If I turned blue, I would be completely useless without a Green Lantern nearby. If I chose yellow, I'd probably become a psychologically broken, screwed up, evil person. Indigo, I would be I would be a slave to the actual ring itself. Star Sapphire, I would be possessed by the power of love and become an incredibly overly emotional person. And I think we all know what happens when you have the Orange Lantern. To be fair, the Green Lantern is the only one that doesn't have any downsides to it. So I would go with green. Whoops. I just flipped that up really quick. Super Mega Boy 8. Who is your least favorite villain? And also, who do you prefer as Batman, Bruce Wayne or Dick Grayson? You should know the answer to that. Batman. Uh, I say Batman as Bruce Wayne. But my least favorite villain. I don't know if I have a least favorite villain of all time. I don't know. That's a good one. Uh, I really don't know. Uh, trying to think. I'm gonna just assume from comics in general. If we're assuming from comics in general, let's just say from the big two, Marvel or DC. I had to pick a comic character that I did not like. A villain. Has to be a villain. Oh, you got me on the spot. I want to give you a good answer, but I can't pull it out of nowhere. Uh, I never really liked the Jokers from Batman Beyond. Yeah, that'll be my answer. The Jokers from Batman Beyond. I never really cared for them. I understand them. I understand why they were there. They just didn't wow me. Uh, Eric Kozlowski. I picked up Dial H11 for the same reason and said the same thing in my review. LOL. Yeah, it just is what it is. Canon Deus Ex. What do you think of the introduction of Carrie Kelly in the New 52? Well, you just got it. Michael McGregor. I am a Superman fan, but it's hard to find good Superman books. I can't wait for Superman Unchained, but is Action Comics or Superman New 52 any good? What do you recommend? The Superman New 52, since Scott Lobdell jumped on, has been decent. It's been. I guess I reached the maximum amount of time that my video can record, so I have to record another video to add on to this video. Guess I'm going a long time, people. And I remember where I left off. Superman and the New 52, since Scott Lobdell jumped on, has been good. It hasn't been amazing, but it's been good. The art is really the drawing point, but I think it's been fun because it's like a different Superman. Action Comics' last issue, the new story arc with Andy Diggle and Tony Daniel, is good. Unfortunately, neither of them are going to stay on the title for that long. So you're better off just waiting for Unchained, but there's nothing wrong if you did pick up those two respected that I talked about. Spectre Devourer. Did you hear about the new Batman Arkham Origins games? Look killer. It does, and I don't even care if a new developer is coming in. Why does everyone get all up in a roar because we have a new developer for a video game? Yeah, maybe Rocksteady isn't doing it, or whoever was doing it beforehand. I think it was Rocksteady. It's still going to be a fun game. That's all that matters. And finally, Ben's Comics. Hey, Andrew, do you know if DC is collecting backup stories in the New 52 trades? They are, but they're doing it weird. I know at least the Batman backups are being collected at the end of all the story arcs. So all the Batman Core of the Owl backups are collected at the end of, like, Batman Core of the Owls Volume 2. If you open it up, you go to the end, all the backups are collected there. So there you go. I don't know about the other backups. What else had backups? Justice League had backups. I felt as though something else had a backup issue. Oh, Threshold. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do it for those two. I'm sure Justice League's Shazam is gonna have its own trade because it's Shazam. And that is the comments for the week and the questions. So yeah, pretty long video. Sorry if it went too long for some people. I know some people are still adjusting to the new video scheme, but hey, I think it's worked out for the best. If you have a question, comment, anything along that lines, and you would like me to address it or answer it or anything along that lines, just comment down below and I'll take care of you. Okay? And I am always interested to hear your opinions on everything and anything. So please, by all means, comment or send a video respond or whatever. Okay? I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now. It's time to hit the gym.